right, welcome everybody to One Nation, a Sports Locker Magazine Extra. This is your host, Kirk DeMars, and thank you for joining us on the program tonight. We've got a really good follow-up to last week's program when we had on Ozzie Smith. Tonight we've got the fourth place finishers in the state for wrestling, the Helias Crusader Wrestling Team. Joining us tonight is Coach Keleher, and also we've got John and Jack Lage and Carson Hayes. These guys put in a lot of time into that program, as well as all the other different people that are involved in, just a great season. I mean, wow, they did a fantastic job, and we're excited to have them on tonight. So I can't bring on my co-host tonight. Jay was unable to make it, and so we're going to miss him, his great intros that he always does, his witty humor, all those different things. So I'm not Jay. I will do the best that I can, though. So let's have a great program, and we're going to bring our guests in right now. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Doing well.
Hey, thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank
you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to just quickly go through, and we'll introduce you guys a little bit. Coach Keleher, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
So Keleher, I've been here at Helias. This is now my third season. My first season was 18-19. Been coaching wrestling, since 2000. I guess it was 14. It was the first year I coached college wrestling, and then up until the 18-19 season, I was coaching college wrestling, and ended up taking a job here at Helias Catholic, teaching and coaching here. So.
Well, very good. You've done a fantastic job, and I know they're happy to have you there. Also, you had a great season in football, right?
Yes, we did. Finishing off a 14-0 season, undefeated state champs. I had two good crews this year to coach with. So.
Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations on that too. Hey, Carson, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Carson Hayes. I'm a sophomore, 16 years old. I go to Helias Catholic, and I wrestle, play, and I train with Pro Wrestling Academy in the off season, and wrestle for Helias during the regular season.
Very good. And you're also training partners with this guy on the other side of the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Hey, Jack and John, good to have you guys on here. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about you guys and your family real quick?
We have a cabinet shop in here, and we kind of grew up. Jack's kind of grown up in wrestling. I wrestled for Helias, and I wrestled a little bit in college, and just kind of enjoyed growing up with him wrestling and trying to develop him to be the best he can be.
Well, very good. One thing I've noticed, and I think everybody else probably notices, the difference in hair between you young guys and then myself. So something that's quite obvious there, right?
Yeah. See, mine is a lot better than his. I didn't have time to grow up the mullet.
Yeah, no. Kind of funny, back when I was going to high school in the 80s, that was popular then too. So, but again, like I said, it's all gone. I just shaved it off, and let's just let it go there. So.
Yeah, Jack was looking at some of my mullet pictures just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hey, but mine was a lot better.
Yeah, I would have to say that yours definitely looks better than what mine did. So mine was more along the lines of back when Michael Jackson and those guys were around. So, but that's dating me, and we won't go any more on that. We're going to go ahead and get right into everything here real quick. Coach Keleher, tell us a little bit about when you first walked into Helias and just seeing all those banners hanging up there. I mean, what did that do to you when you walked in there?
It was pretty shell-shocking at 6 years old going to the Tri-Cap tournament and seeing all the state championships and all the banners and, in the room, all the pictures and everything. And then throughout, I had an older brother wrestle in high school there at Moberly. And anyways, we would always duel Helias and get shut out. And that was in the early 2000s. And then coming there as a coach, having the opportunity to coach there was something great for me because I knew the history, I knew the tradition. I knew that there had been a little time in between, in some things, you know, program kind of fell off a little or just dropped a little bit, but it was always still there. There's always tough kids, and it's a great community. It's an easy place to coach because everybody backs you.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can't thank the community enough. And then, like I said, I've told these boys, it was all of us, you know, this year with a fourth place team finish, from the parents to the kids, to the supporters of the program. We all took fourth. So.
Okay, and speaking of that, the fourth place finish, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, and then also, how proud you are of this team, the coaches, and the student athletes.
So this team had several very good individuals. I mean, obviously you're interviewing Jack for a reason. He was an undefeated state, but we had a lot of really good individuals that came together as a team. Carson was a captain on the team. These kids were great. This year with all the adversity, you would have never known it with this group. They just kept going. They have that blue collar work ethic. They just come to work every day. You, there's times as a coach I gotta step back because I get pushing too hard because they just keep giving what you ask, and sometimes they got to make it fun. So I got to take a step back and realize they are still 16-year-old kids, and but once you realize that, they'll do anything for you, and they do a great job, and it's a great team. Um, if we can keep that culture in the room and with this community, there's more to come, more than just a fourth place finish. So, but this was a great year. This was a great team, and these boys are these two boys identify as all 14 on the varsity and 40 on the team. They're all the same, and they just come in and work their butts off. And I think they're a bright future at Helias Catholic.
That's great. Yeah, outstanding job, guys. And while just before I ask Jack this question, I just want to encourage anybody, all those fans that are watching right now, if you guys want to make any comments, feel free to do that. Possibly you'll be able to get it on the screen, or we'll maybe even ask a question or something like that. So feel free to make those comments. I know you guys are proud of this program. Hey, Jack, tell me a little bit about what it's like wrestling for Coach Keleher, and what have you learned from him, and what do you appreciate about him?
Oh, it has been a lot. A lot of fun. Because we all know how to and go and work hard and do all that, and then learn to work. But at the end of the day, we learn how to have fun while we're working hard, and we just learn how to go and have a positive look at things and just try. And we go in and learn that things are things are there for a reason, and we'll use it to our advantage with no matter what it is.
That's great. Very good. You can chime in here now, Carson, and just say what you appreciate about Coach and what he's taught you to motivate you to be the best that you can be.
I really like how his style of teaching us. He teaches us that in order to be a champion, you have to do things right on and off the mat. When it comes to our diet, it comes to our training at practice. But if we didn't get that full training in at practice, we got to go home and get that training we missed and go for a run or whatever to keep our weight down and our conditioning up and to always stay in shape. And he also reminds us of our goals a lot during practice, not just a team goal, but individual goals to make us want to work harder to achieve those goals.
Very good. It sounds like you guys have a lot of respect for your coach, and I think, like you were saying, Jack, you have fun too. And I know that's awesome, Coach, that you want to make sure that the guys enjoy their time as well as working very hard. So, John, why don't you, from a father's perspective and also former wrestler, why don't you say what you appreciate about how Coach Keleher has led this team and how he's helped develop your son?
Well, one thing about Coach Keller, he doesn't shy from competition. Uh, we wrestle some of the best schools in the state. We wrestled Liberty and Neosho, Lebanon, some of the tournaments that we wrestled top kids or the top teams in the our school class. And he does a really well job, just really a good job making all the kids ready to wrestle, conditioning and having everybody ready.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this in here real quick. Talking about conditioning, why don't you two guys tell a little bit about, and Carson, we can start with you, but talk about that conditioning on how you have to get ready, because getting conditioned for wrestling is a completely different thing than say football or baseball or basketball. Tell us a little bit about how you get in shape for that.
Well, a lot of times when I was younger, I used to think that wrestling live and everything is what's going to get you conditioned, which is like basically a match in practice. But with our hard drill at Helias, that's what's put me in better shape than anything. And when we constantly drill hard like that, then your body is just trained and you have muscle memory to go the distance.
Now you guys have to maintain pretty much a certain amount of weight in order to be able to compete in that weight class. Jack, how hard is that to be able to keep that at the same level?
Well, I have to. I pretty much go and probably get like a couple workouts in, probably every single day with practice, going to run, going to lift, and then just and then and then just make sure that my weight is down.
And you don't have a whole lot of body fat on you, obviously, from when we did the photographs of you in Sports Locker magazine and you were showing off those muscles. My daughter, she was like, wow, this turned out really good. I couldn't have made it look any better, so that's awesome. And you didn't even have the mullet really back then when we took your pictures. So.
Nope.
All right, guys. Hey, go ahead, Coach.
I'd like to say something about Jack. You know, he sacrificed a lot for this team to be at that weight to allow another kid in our lineup. I mean, he could have wrestled the next weight class up, but I mean, that's what these boys. You asked me earlier how boys are with the team, and that's what they do for each other. So, I mean, that's a huge testament to John and Jack and Martha and who they're raising, and I couldn't be prouder of what he did for our team, and then he topped it off with state championship on that. So, he sacrificed a lot and did a lot for us.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I don't know if I ever remember that weight that you guys are wrestling at right now. I mean, I'm just happy to get back to 185 right now. So I'm 55 years old and I'm at that weight. I think I'm going to be okay right there. So, hey,
I'm kind of glad we can eat at home ourselves.
Yeah, that's right. Eating is good. Hey,
Yes.
This first section has flown by. We're going to go ahead and do our first sponsor real quick, and then we'll come back with our second segment. You guys, outstanding job, getting lots of good information, and we're going to go ahead and see what CNS Business Services has to say here. I'm Kirk DeMars with Sports Locker Magazine. I'm here with Stephanie Lehman of CNS Business Services. Stephanie, what can people expect when they come into CNS Business Services?
When they come in, if you've already applied online, that's great. That way we have your basic information. But if you come in to apply for one of our jobs or any of our jobs, or even if you don't see something on our website right now and you get into our system, our pool of applicants, you can come to CNS. Taryn here will get you started with the application process. And then at that time, it's likely you'll be able to talk to one of our staffing specialists specifically about our jobs that we have open, and they can match you up with the job that's right for you.
Bottom line, if they need a job, they need to come see you guys.
Absolutely. You can with the website, check it out, apply online, that gets you started, that gets your application process started, and then we can help you out the rest of the way either by contacting CNS or coming to the
Well, it's great to have CNS Business Services as one of our sponsors, and I just really appreciate them. If anybody needs a job, that's where you need to go to help find a job for either you or somebody else. They are constantly looking for positions all throughout Mid Missouri. So I appreciate Paula, Stephanie, and their team at CNS Business Services. All right, guys, great first part of the interview, and we're going to dig into the next section here. And John, we're going to go ahead and come right to you. What was it like seeing Jack win the state championship? And can you expand a little bit about how you saw him develop and battle through, recovering from that injury that he had before? Just talk a little bit about that.
Oh, it was excellent. I just really proud of him doing, all the years of all the work that he's done and he's done on his own and just wrestling year round and studying the matches and stuff and just trying to be well rounded is just doing the best he can, wrestling in all positions. I couldn't be prouder. And then, going through his injuries, having to lay off for, a couple months when he broke his sternum. And, that was the hardest thing for a parent to see that right before his freshman year. I thought he would have did pretty well at Senate. And, he came back and he wrestled some of the kids that he would have seen there, and he did well against them. But taking that time off, I think it made him work a little bit harder for the next season. So I'm just proud of him.
Yeah, you said broke your sternum. That sounds extremely painful. Tell us a little
I
bit.
remember he wasn't feeling good that match, and he went out. And, he wasn't, he needed to wrestle the kid after the match that he got hurt in, and he was winning at a pretty good margin. And he threw the kid and did it to himself. And I remember going out there and as a parent, and I was like, "You sure you can't go?" And he goes, "No, I'm broke."
Wow.
And so it was one of those things that it was a painful experience for him.
Yeah. Did it affect your breathing and everything?
It was his sternum and it was his clavicle. It was right where the growth plate between the clavicle and the sternum is what really broke. But he healed up really good from it.
Yeah. Coach, real quick, how do you handle things like that when you have an athlete going through an injury? I mean, what do you focus on trying to get them back to where they need to be?
Well, you do the time that the doctors tell you. I'm not a doctor. Whatever they say to take off for in the rehab, you put that in when they say it's okay to go. We try to take it pretty slow, especially with that situation. It happened at the end of the season, right before the district tournament, and so we were into the summer by the time Jack was able to kind of come back in the open mats and start wrestling again. So the first thing he wanted to do was grab Carson and go live, or whoever else was in that day. And I'm like, no, just drilling today. Like, you got to slow down. And the next week, same thing. The week after that, I was like, all right, we can go. 1 minute goes 3 times, like 3. And, we just try to kind of baby step it in, back in. But, yeah, like John said, he come back wanting to he wanted to work harder. He wanted more. Like John said earlier, we had high hopes for him. I still to this day think he may have won a state title his freshman year if he's at the tournament, but we'll never know. But he worked his butt off. He got back. It was a test. Like I said, he just works his butt off and got right back in the room, got back into the mix to winning a state title his sophomore year, and he really did a great job. So I didn't have to do much. He did all the work. So
you were just having to hold him back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had to play the mom role in that situation. You're gonna calm down, like you're gonna hold on.
That's awesome. Jack, it takes a lot of hard work and determination, and it seems like you're just, it's built in you to get after it. So what was it like to win that state championship?
It was pretty cool. I have been training since second grade for it. Yeah, I have been wrestling ever since what, like 10, 11 years or something, just for that, and it was pretty cool. Words can not ever, like, you cannot say what you felt in that moment with words ever. It was just once. It was just a once in a lifetime opportunity that I'm gonna try to make twice in a lifetime. Do it next year.
Yeah, that's great. And again, congratulations on that. The atmosphere, again, I know that there's probably a limited number of people that could attend, but what was the atmosphere like for that?
It was pretty cool. I say we probably had one of the one of the largest crowds up there, and it was pretty cool because we had pretty much most of our team there and cheering us on, and then the parents, and then we had a bunch of people that were back at that that were back at home that were watching on their phones, on their TVs and their computers, and were cheering it on, and it was pretty cool because I had a lot of people that were backing me up, and it was incredible.
That's awesome. That's very good. Carson, tell us a little bit about what it was like for you wrestling in the tournament. What was your favorite
Well,
moment?
the best part about state tournament is the atmosphere. Like Jack said, the crowd, and even with COVID this year, there not being as many people, they're still there cheering you on, which is usually a bigger crowd than there usually is. And the big spotlights on the mat while you're wrestling. I mean, that kind of stuff fuels me. Like, it makes me appreciate wrestling so much more. And you're just surrounded by all good wrestlers. I mean, there's no slouches at the state tournament, and to be like among those people is a really cool thing. And like this year with COVID, only 12 people were allowed to qualify for state when there's usually 16. So just to be a part of the top 12 in the state was awesome.
Outstanding, Coach. You wanna make any comments on either one of those about that as far as their preparation and how they handled that while they were at the tournament?
Uh, they these two did a great job. I thought the whole team did a great job. The state tournament is a tournament of highs and lows and mountains and valleys. And just to navigate through that, it's tough. But I thought the whole group, the whole team, the parents, everybody did a really good job. The coaching staff did a good job with that this year.
Very good. Well, guys, I mean that's something that you won't forget, right? It's going to be in your mind for a long time. But I know you both want more, so that's good. You got those opportunities. We're going to get into some other things here in this next segment, but I do want to hear real quick, Jack, if you were able to wrestle your dad. I mean, I know you probably have off and on. I mean, who wins? Who typically wins in that?
Oh boy, I don't know. I think that I can make him pretty tired. I don't know. It would be pretty exciting.
Okay. Does he have any of the moves that he's tried to tell you about that he did in his day?
Yeah, I pretty much go and hit a lot of the same moves that he hit in high school, college, and whenever he wrestled.
All
I
right.
still have a couple tricks that I haven't showed him.
I don't know about that
Just
one.
saving that.
Yeah. That's like my
We all know
father-in-law.
John wins.
It's probably like my father-in-law. Like when we were playing basketball, he would like hold the back of my shorts and not let me run off around him or anything. So it's like, no, you don't
Yeah,
play
those are the
basketball that
tricks.
way. Yeah. Carson, anybody in your family that you compete against?
Not usually. My dad's usually like, if I ever try to wrestle him, he's always like, "No, I'm too sore from work." Something like that. I
That's a
usually just rock
great.
Jack.
That's a great fatherly excuse right there. That's a good one right there. All right. Well, hey guys, we flew through that segment. We'll go ahead and do our next sponsor, and then we'll come back. I see that Kathy Hayes is watching, so she's making sure that You're doing good, Carson. You're doing a good job. So we'll keep this up, guys. We'll do our sponsor, Diesel Power Plus, and we'll be right back.
Big Rig Truckers will have a chance to show off their rigs on Saturday, April 17th at the Crossroads Shopping Plaza in California, Missouri. Diesel Power Plus, along with Dynaflex and Horse and Buggy Chrome Shop, invite you to come out for the first annual truck show starting at 8 a.m. Prizes, a light show, and lots of activities for the kids, plus food and product vendors all day. The first annual truck meet and show, rain or shine, Saturday, April 17th at Diesel Power Plus in California. Everyone is welcome. Check them out on Facebook for more details.
All right, Diesel Power Plus, they've got a big event that they have happening out there this week. They're pretty excited about it. First ever truck show out there. If you guys haven't been out there, I mean, they've got like chrome, they've got all sorts of stuff everywhere. It's pretty awesome T-shirts, everything that you could possibly want as far as signs. Anyway, they're going to have a lot of trucks out there. Ashley and Delton Rissler, they do a great job out there. So, okay, we are in our last segment. You guys, this has been outstanding. Now I see that Jim is watching too, so you've got them both watching. I think he probably popped on here once we were talking about Carson, whether you would be able to beat him in anything, so maybe that's what happened there. Just want to make sure he's keeping you in line. Coach Keleher, as a coach, you've had to battle through some different adversities through your time that you've had there at the helm. Dealing with some different things as far as the proud tradition, trying to get back to that. Also dealing with the pandemic, and then some pretty difficult things as far as, and I'm just thinking, for instance, team captain Nikolai Kariega and the loss of his brother. Just kind of tell us a little bit about how you handled that and tried to help move the team forward and comfort them in that.
By far the hardest one, I think all of us will agree, was the loss of Jackson. Having all the things I've had to deal with. The way I got through it, and I think the way the boys got through it was to the same, was staying together as a family, doing, just keeping, especially early. It was all about staying routine, staying, on that schedule, and staying busy, because if your mind think too much, you were getting caught up in what was going on, and so you just had to stay busy. I think the biggest leader in that group was Nikolai, because Nikolai didn't skip a beat, and these boys can tell you that, he buried his brother one day, he was back in the room the next day, he was working his butt off, he was being a team leader, he was being a captain. Everybody was struggling, but kind of fed off of him. Even I did at times, because it was like, this is tough, and I see this poor boy just still doing it, still going, still. He motivated me to be better at that time too, and he's a great kid. Jackson was a great kid. It was a bad deal. That we talk about pandemics, but that's the real problem right now, is epidemic, is that teenage suicide. And but anyways, I just try to keep that family structure. That's the only answer I got on how to get those times, is lean on one another. I tell the boys all the time, don't lean on the wall, lean on your brother. And so that's kind of how that's how we attacked that situation. With COVID, all the guidelines did what we were told. I said the very first wrestling meeting we had this year, control what you can control. We have zero control on how many fans can go places. We have zero control if anyone cancels on us. Only control, and we're going to make it a long ways. And that was kind of the theme for this year, and I thought we really did a good job with that. So that's how we got through the COVID.
Okay. Yeah, and I think you're right as far as dealing with the pandemic compared to the loss of a life. I mean there's losses of life in the pandemic, but when a young person, and especially with so much ahead of them, that's a really tough thing. I know that the loss of my brother 12 years ago, he was a year younger. That was really hard on me during that period of time, and my heart just went out to the Keleher family, Nikolai and them, and we were able to plant a tree in his honor out by Jackson's resting place, and actually
Yes.
went out there today just to make sure that everything was budding and doing what it was supposed to be doing. I saw some buds coming up, and that kid had an infectious smile, and
Yep.
he was a special kid, and so I thought it was neat how Nikolai um, made it his goal to compete for his the memory of his brother this year. Can you tell a little bit about that?
Um. Yeah. I think he made that goal. Days after that had happened, and he spent 2 years competing for his brother, in the Helias team, and I think boys did. Um, they all hold. Jackson was their brother also, but Nikolai especially, being blood brothers and stuff. He just kept going after. He said he had a goal, to place in the top half on the podium for his brother, and he did it. And Jack had a very similar goal with the loss he went through right before the state tournament. Grandfather, and he said he was going to be an undefeated state champ, and and he did it. And when these boys tell me their goals, I tell them, write it down. Go, like, let's make it happen. It's not a dream, or it's not a goal until it's written down. It's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when we talk about goals, write it down, and we try to make them real, and just doing that over and over again makes it real, and you believe it, and it happens. And both those boys were able to honor their loved ones, which was great.
Yeah. Jack, sorry to hear about the loss of your grandfather. Sorry about that. Um, John, why don't you say a little bit as far as how you helped Jack get through that time with the loss of a teammate? Um, that was a big hit for the whole Helias family. But just tell, I mean, obviously you saw him and how he was reacting to everything. How'd you help him get through that?
It was tough. We cried a lot. We prayed a lot. Um, I kind of went through a similar situation with a teammate uh, after we graduated high school. So it came back a lot of those. It was just he was part of the family. Jackson was just he was just the extended family. The whole Carriega family was just extended family to us, and we treated it like he was a brother, and that's how we approached it.
That goes. I think that's taken for granted a lot of times. You hear a lot of athletes say, we're like family, but I truly believe that that's the circumstance with you guys, that you are like family. You like being around each other, supporting each other, pushing each other, comforting each other when you need comforted. And that's an awesome testament to not only your coaches but your families and you guys as well, being open to do that. So that's an amazing thing. Keep that going forward, guys. That's a great thing to have as far as part of who you are as a human being. So, uh, Carson, why don't you tell me a little bit about what impressed you as far as Nikolai's leadership on the team?
I mean, I kind of felt like he was obviously one of our captains, but he was a coordinator and kind of like a mom of our team. He always told us, like, oh, we got to go move mats today after school, and told us what time, where to be, and he always told us, like, let's go out to eat as a team and fun. And he just kind of coordinated a lot of stuff, and he not only led the team on the mat but off the mat as well.
And speaking of somebody on and off the mat too, your good friend is Jack, and you're also his training partner. Talk a little bit about that, Carson, as far as How's that all work out? You guys are in different weight classes. How do you help each other in getting better?
Well, we've been training together since second grade, and he probably knows how I wrestle just as well as I know how I wrestle. And I mean, we've pushed each other since the beginning. Like, we've always been wrestling partners, and like, we've always usually been around like one weight class apart. This year we separated a little bit, but even with the separation, we're partners like every day. We push each other constantly. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today without him pushing me every single day. And through all that, through all the grind and everything and beating up every day, we've become even better friends than we would if we didn't do that. So
Very good. Hey, Jack, as far as wrestlers like Nikolai and Jackson and some of the other leaders that you've seen come before you, how have they impacted you and motivated you to be a better wrestler?
And which I've known them since second grade, and they have taught me all of the things to be a good person, a good wrestler, and just to and they. I mean, I really would not. I would not be here right now if it was not for them. I don't know. They just mean he just means a lot to me, and they both. I mean, it's just hard to explain it.
Good. Uh, Tell me about Carson and what he's meant to you as far as helping you get better and also your friendship.
Man, I think me and Carson practice probably every single week, like all year round in the season, in the off season. We are practicing our with our team at Helias, and then we're practicing with our team at Perler, going and lifting. We're going and running, but with all that work, we for sure know to go and have some fun too. We work hard and we play hard.
Very good. Awesome. So, Carson, what are your goals from here?
well, I have a lot of long-term goals as well as we all do, but I think the short-term goals are what's going to matter the most. And the short-term goals are working hard every day, becoming the best person I can be, off the mat, and like, I have faith that through God and through my hard work and dedication each day, that my long-term goals will come true and I can go as far as I can.
Very good. How about you? Jack? What are your goals from here?
Man, I don't know. I'm I I am going to want to go and probably go and wrestle at college, and just and try and reach my full potential, and just become the best person and wrestler that I can, and I'm going to work to get an All American on top of it, or maybe even an NCAA champ.
That's awesome. That's a great goal. Uh, I'm going to ask two last questions here. Jack and Carson, you guys have done an outstanding job. John, what's it like having your son go to Helias Catholic, and what do you appreciate about that experience for him?
Well, Helias. I always knew that my kids would go to Helias. It's one of those things that I appreciated the school when I went there. I There's still some of the teachers there that when I was there, and they just have good value. It's just a great school.
Now, do any of those teachers, did they still have mullets? Or did they just let that go? No? Okay. Just thought I'd check.
Well, a couple of them have your same haircut.
For some reason that happens. I don't know. That's awesome. Coach, hey, I really appreciate everything that you do for these young men at that school, teaching them values, hard work, becoming not only great student athletes but great human beings. What are your goals going forward?
Um, Oddly enough, to continue to learn from the boys. I mean, they're the ones that taught me everything. Uh, I came into high school coaching, never coached a day in high school, so I've learned more from them than just about anything. And I used to have a great staff. Mike Jeffries is still around, showing me the ropes as an assistant coach for me. So, but my goals are to just continue learning from the boys. Putting them in the right places, putting my coaching in the right places, and with that, good things will happen. And I think we all know who Helias Catholic is, and we want to bring it back to what it was like in the 80s and 90s when John was wrestling. And I think everybody here in the community knows that goal. Like Carson said, it's doing all the little things to get to that big goal that we need to continue doing, and putting people in the right places. And I believe it's going to happen. 100% confident we're going to bring it back.
That's great. Well, Seder strong, right, guys? All right.
Yep, Seder
Hey,
strong.
thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. If you can hold on for just a moment while I close out the program, I'll visit with you when we're done here. And you guys did a fantastic job, and thank you for being on here and being our guests. And I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that was a great interview. We had the Helias Catholic wrestling team, as well as state champion Jack Lage. If you didn't get to see the full thing here, you can go back and watch it, and you can also go to YouTube and watch it on there. Next week, we will have the Eugene Lady Eagles basketball team, so make sure you join us for that. This is Kirk DeMars with One Nation of Sports Locker Magazine Extra. Thank you for joining us, and God bless you.
I don't know.